What's happening, crypto fam? Happy Wednesday. Good morning and welcome back to Love for Crypto. I'm Scott and it's a pleasure to have you here. I appreciate you taking the time out to consume the content, so thank you. This morning I want to talk about something that really interests me, digital identities. And one of the softwares and platforms I see at the forefront of it, and personally I believe is at the forefront of it, especially regarding enterprise, is Hyperledger Indy. Now, to be or not to be is not a question nowadays. To the normal citizen, you have your birth certificate that enables you to have an identity, a driver's license, a passport, and voila, you are. Even that digitally seems quite common and straightforward. Most of the Western civilization have not won, but many digital identities with them: a Google account, a Microsoft account, a Facebook account, a Twitter account, and so on. This is not the case for a large segment of mankind, a group that has no identity, knows little or nothing about their roots, and cannot provide any proof of them. By not being able to provide their identity, they cannot open a bank account, they can't access healthcare, they can't enroll in university, they cannot have a normal life. Unfortunately for this group, it is easier to buy a pizza using Bitcoin than to provide their names, origins, and history. That's shocking. That is shocking. This happens because we lack a common ground for identities. Governments have strong agreements on how each of them will understand documents issued by other nations. Internal conflicts, commercial disputes, and other political situations make it hard for some countries to be part of such agreements, and they end up being left outside. In some cases, those excluded countries are the ones facing issues that force their populations to migrate without an identifying document recognised by their host countries. These migrants become nobodies in their new home. Interesting. So self-sovereign identity, interoperability, and trust. So Hyperledger Indy and distributed ledgers built for the purpose of decentralized identity will be a powerful tool to overcome the issue. It will do so by being a carrier of trust. Distributed ledger technology, aka blockchain, in an identity management scenario, enables everyone in the network to have the same sort of truth about which credentials are valid and who attested to the validity of the data inside the credential without revealing the actual data. Through the infrastructure of a blockchain, an identity verifying party does not need to check the validity of actual data in the provided proof. Instead, the verifier can use the blockchain to check the validity. What was I saying? That validity? Fuck off, Scott. Validity of the of the attestation and attesting party. Fuck me. Who wrote this? You're jumbling my accent, man. My mouth can't fucking keep up. Through the infrastructure of a blockchain, an identity verifying party does not need to check the validity of the actual data in the provided proof. Instead, the verifier can use the blockchain to check the validity of the attestation and attesting party to determine whether to validate the proof. For example, I've got examples now. When the identity owner presents a proof of his or her date of birth, rather than actually checking the truth of the date of the birth itself, the verifying party will validate the government's signature who issued and attested to the credential to then decide whether he trusts the government's assessment about the accuracy of the data. Hence, the validation of a proof is based on the verifier's judgment of the reliability of the attester. I'm gonna fuck off with some of this terminology, man. Trust is not the issue that we face. Most of the identity credentials issued by an institution are particular to that institution. There is no standard on those schemas. Through Indy and such standards as verifiable credentials, whose data model 1.0 was recently published as a W3C recommendation, interoperability between situations and different identity management systems might be achieved. Using this technology, non-governmental organizations, NGOs, can help those invisible people gain access to services and expedite the humanitarian process. In the future, it may even enable NGOs to issue some sort of universally verifiable digital identity credentials to refugees, credentials that refugee host countries could understand and accept because they use the same interoperable digital identity standards and trusted the NGO that issued the credentials. This would allow refugees to fully access services in their host countries. They would be able to include in society, open bank accounts, rent houses, be as productive as any other citizen, something they are unable to currently do. The key is interoperability and the decentralization of trust. So Hyperledger Indy is still quite young, with a lot to be discussed and done. However, it has an engaging community around it, researching, asking questions and working towards a maturity of the ecosystem. The main tool to start using Indy is the Indy software development kit. A software development kit is a kit that brings you all you need tools in one library. Today the solution still relies solely on said software development kit. That can be tricky as it carries a lot of heavyweight assumptions like using 0MQ, which browsers are not compatible with because of a raw TCP usage, to communicate with the node that usually requires more than recent mobile devices to work. Also, being a kind of all-in-one library, it carries functionalities not always needed to everyone that uses it. To be the solution for the problem that plagues 1.2 billion people around the world who do not have an identity. It's hard to fathom people don't have an identity, like a proof of ID. It's all right, they're going to say my name's Jim. Prove it, Jim. Prove it, dickhead. Got no identity. The current technology still needs improvements. It has to be easier to use on basic phones, easy to integrate and easy to develop. It still requires users to have a powerful smartphone, small wallets. It's not possible to run on a browser. And we are challenged with little and sometimes confusing documentation on the technical side. There are a lot of initiatives tackling those issues. Hyperledger Aries, which is making it more modular. Indy Crypto, Indy VCX, and other projects are working to make the tech more democratic, transparent, and easier to use. A lot of independent programmers are also experimenting with it, successfully creating, for example, a Node.js Indy request that makes software development kitless call to the node. I would personally love to see HTTP with encrypted body request work over an Indy node and other think outside the box kind of tools. I understand a lot of this terminology is aimed at developers and people know what the fuck this guy's going on about, but it's interesting to see where they're at and how they speak about the current state of digital identities within Hyperledger and Indy and the other frameworks and tools. Overcoming those issues will not be easy, but when we, the entire digital identity community, position ourselves in a united front to fight these problems, there is a huge chance to succeed. Watch this space for digital IDs, guys. Oh my days. I actually can't wait for one. Because the fundamental, what happens then kind of thing, yeah? What happens then is extremely interesting. For instance, how long, so if I've got my little phone here, and I've got my digital ID on it. And my digital ID governs my value, right? And I've got my visa for travel and all that stuff, all on this little bad boy. And I've put a bit of data in and that, and I pay for a holiday. And the ticket comes, and all my hotel information and all that comes in, and it's on my phone, I'm ready. So the day comes to go, flying out, woo woo. We're going. Some bags are packed, got my phone, get to the airport, just put my phone on the counter. Yeah, that's Scott Pratt. He looks the same as me because the picture come up, your KYC picture, your facial recognition pops up. Like, oh, Scott Pratt. He's going to America for a conference for a week and this, that, and there's his ticket. And so, yeah, you're all good, see, mate. No, nothing, just bloop, yeah, you're good. Bloop, yeah, you're good. Bloop, yeah, you're good. There's your airport check-in in the future. You at the train station, there's going to be people selling tickets at the train station. There's going to be a person at a counter selling tickets in the future. There isn't. Now, people's going to be all like, oh, but what about privacy and the cameras and my facial recognitions? It's not very private, is it? Yeah, well, the world's not very secure, and I'd like a little bit more security, to be honest. People got stabbed in Manchester again the other day. So you either start letting me walk around with weapons or provide more security. So you're damn right, I do want facial recognition, and I want cameras on every corner, and I want chips in criminals' hands, and I want everyone to give the DNA to the police. You're damn right I do. You got something to hide if you don't. Seriously. What about me privacy? What about my family's security? Your privacy. You stick your privacy up your ass. No one gives a fuck. Once people start paying for data, seriously, right? Once this Tesco comes out, what do you want to buy this week? You tell me what you want, and I'll give you a bit of money. And JD's like, yo, tell me what kind of trainers you want, and I'll give you 20p. I'll give you 20p. And every other shop's like, tell me what kind of pants you want, I'll give you 50p. Everyone's just going to be on the phone like that. Yo, give that data to them, that data. Yo, just made a fiver me selling data, mate. Made a fiver selling me data, mate. That's what it'll be soon. Because people will find out that they can start making money off of data. Once you got your digital identity, you got your own personal ledger, it's all in there, it's all locked in. No one can really get access to it unless you give them permission. They're going to have to start buying it off you. David Schwartz has spoken about it. He's spoken about walking past a shop and the shop pinged in your phone like, yo, what items does he want today? What's he looking for? And the phone's like, you're going to have to pay for that information, bro. But he's got some. You have to pay for it. It's going to be 50p. Yeah, give 50p. Give me the information. What's he want? Well, I was looking for a pair of jeans and a pair of trainers, this kind and that kind. And the shop's like, oh, mate, well, tell them I've got the jeans. And not only have I got the jeans, I've got the trainers in a 20% off. Your phone's pinging like mad then. Say, yo, the jeans and trainers you told me you've been looking for this morning, that shop back there's got them. Either order them on your phone now or I'll go back and try them on. Done. Imagine that shit, mate. And that is only possible with not only 5G for all the phones and shit to talk to each other, but digital IDs and personal ledgers and stuff. And what they're doing now with Indy and that, and I'm going to look into that one that was going on about the W3C recommendation. You don't read that and then not look into it. You've got to look into that. The W3C recommendation. I'm going to have a look at it. Wondering where they read that from, just search Hyperledger on Google and go to the Hyperledger page. There's loads of articles and information there on the Hyperledger consortium, all the frameworks, the software, the kits and that, the tools. So yeah, it is absolutely incredible. Not only is blockchain going to give people who struggle to get banked the unbanked, and the people who don't get financial services or struggle to get financial services, it's not just going to open the financial markets for them people. It's going to give people with no identity. That is madness to even think about, like to try and put that into perspective, walking about the globe in 2020 without being able to prove who you are. What the fuck? 2020, man. Everyone should be able to prove who they are, and it shouldn't be hard to do. This tech's going to enable it. You know the script, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your day. Invest in the internet of value. Invest in yourself. Invest in you. Yeah? Live long and hodl. Alright? Wishing health and happiness to you and yours. We love crypto. We love digital IDs. We love you. Peace.